Welcome to another episode.
Welcome to another episode of Racing Cars.
Racing to learn.
Racing to learn.
Yeah, all right. So today we're taking a look at shocks. We're going to rebuild some shocks here. We've got two already in the works, right? This is for our ECX Ruckus. We'll just pan over here to our work area for the day.
Mom, can we do a video instead of shooting out the video?
Okay, yeah, we'll shoot this video and then we can watch a video, okay? So we've got one shock over here that's freshly removed, and you can see there's a lot of gunk on here, a lot of dirt and grit. You want to rebuild these every so often. First of all, just making sure that they even have fluid in them. The way that these shocks work, right? So the point of a shock in the first place is to compress like this, keeping the...
Can I try?
Yeah, you can try. Whoop.
Sorry.
Okay. Now the shock's got to compress here to keep the tire in contact. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, it's a little bit dirty though, so there's some gunk on there. Okay, but you've got to, the shock keeps the wheel, the tire, in contact with the ground so that you can have traction through that tire. Yeah. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so this one, their hands are dirty.
My hands are green and dirty.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and disassemble this one here. How you do that is you for these particular shocks, and most of them, now it's clean. Now you're gonna compress the shock and take out this collar over here, and you want to do this over a paper towel or a piece of paper or something, just because there's gonna be a lot of gunk that comes off. Usually a really grimy shock is an indicator that you've got a leaky seal. So we want to clean that off here. Like this body's got some good amount of gunk on there. We may want to just investigate and replace the shock seals. You don't have to do this
Papa, what's
very often, but definitely
Papa, what's this?
Yeah. This is all right. So you want to have a container handy with that you can catch the dirty fluid into. You can see that we've drained a couple of them over here already. You want plenty of paper towels, and then you want some replacement fluid of the appropriate weight. Now here we're using team associated 35 weight fluid. Yeah, see that? There's there a lot of these different brands. They'll have their own and a cap. They'll have their own weights of fluids, right? The universal thing here is the CST number, so 425 CST. That's supposed to be a universally recognized number. So just another point of reference there. If you're switching between different brands of fluid, that weight may not be consistent. The CST should be a more consistent measure. So we've got two in the process here already. We made this homemade jig out of some cardboard tubes to hold the shocks, right? To hold the shock bodies. Now, why you want to hold them is you're gonna get some bubbles in the fluid that.
Where's bubbles?
There's some bubbles in here. So when you have an empty shock body, you want to fill it about halfway up with the shock fluid, and then work the piston down and up here. Yeah, and that's going to release any air that is trapped underneath the. You gotta hold it. You gotta hold it like this though, Elise. Okay. Yeah.
So the bubble doesn't
Yeah. So and the liquid and the fluid doesn't come out too. Okay. Thank you. And so, working that piston up and down will release some amount of bubbles, but we usually just like to put them in a jig like this and hold them for a couple hours to make sure we have no bubbles in there. Now, the reason that bubbles will give you problems is that air compresses, wwhereas fluid does not. Right, so if you have any air bubbles in there, you'll get inconsistent. You'll have inconsistent compression and rebound in that shock because any air will compress in there. The point of the fluid is to dampen the shock, right, as it goes in and out. The point of the spring is to, of course, make that shock rebound. So the combination of those two properties is what you're looking for. We've got a fully disassembled shock here, so you can see what they look like. This is the actual piston that's inside the shock body. Right, we've got the shock end on here. We're gonna upgrade these. Oh, that's a cap. And then we've got some miscellaneous seals over here. Right, so these red ones are what come stock on these ECX upgraded aluminum bodied shocks. We were thinking of putting in these smaller blue seals here. These are... Yeah, you want to see that one? You can hold it. Let's put it over here. We've got two colors of these. These are from a whole bunch of old Traxxas shocks that we took apart here. We got a whole bunch of bent shock shafts. So these shocks needed to be rebuilt anyways with brand new shock shafts. We wanted to take a look at the seals because there's a difference between these two. The red one is just a regular O-ring that looks like a donut. You can take a look at that one here. The blue ones from these Traxxas shocks are what are called X-rings. Now, if you can see the profile of that, it's got two contact edges. You've got one over there. Yeah, you got some over there already. Now, those two contact edges should provide for a better seal, right? So these X-rings, as they're called, there's a more technical term. I can't remember it right now. Or I shouldn't say more technical term, but an alternative name for those as well. But every single one that we took out of these had some damage on the inner diameter. So, minor tears or nicks or whatnot. So we definitely didn't want to reuse these. So we didn't have any fresh ones on hand. We're going to go ahead and stick with these regular red O-rings. The rest of the shocks, besides this one, were fairly clean. So, yeah, we're gonna figure out the O-ring situation a little bit better first. Perhaps buy some new ones in bulk, or just see what some options are available by doing some research on the internet. You got them all here, Lise. All right, so thanks again for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you guys like videos like this, and we'll continue our shock rebuilds in the next episode. Stay tuned.